Even when you look at somebody like Drake, he loves Houston, right? But obviously, he definitely has so much love for you. I mean, I've seen it. They called me up when my son was born, okay? You didn't know this. I mean, you know now.
Okay.
But no, you knew then too. But I mean, they called me up when my son was born. They called me up like, yo, we want to fly you out to Houston. They were trying to put together, Drake is doing a Bun B, celebration for HAW,
which was crazy,
right? So they brought out me, your publicist, a friend of ours, Roberta Magrini.
Right.
They brought out Jeff Sledge. They brought out your fucking your high school teacher,
high school English teacher, Mr. Agnew.
Listen, okay.
Which I mean blew my mind, right? Because I had talked about him before. And just the fact that they'd asked me in Texas Monthly, which I can't think of this lady's name, but I mean, just an amazing writer. She had no frame of reference on hip hop, no frame of reference on me. And Texas Monthly's like, we need you to do this story on Bun B. And so she just, in the midst of interviewing me, she asked me all these people that, who was influential in my life. And I told her different stories about different people. And Mr. Agnew was one of the people I told the story about. And I don't know how, but this woman found this guy, right? And called him. Was like, yo, I'm doing an interview on this recording artist, Bun B. Do you know who he is? He was like, no, I don't know who you're talking about. I was like, well, his name's Bernard Freeman. He was a student of yours. You're like, okay, yeah, I remember Bernard. I definitely remember Bernard. Like, so actually Bernard's a recording artist, Grammy nominated, sold millions of records. Well, does that surprise you? He was like, actually, no, not at all. Like, just the fact that he could remember me, and then when people telling him I'm successful, he's like, that makes sense. They had to also tell him that I, like, literally was saying that, and then I don't know how they found her, but then Drake and them found her, and then found him and flew him down.
Bro, when they picked me up at the hotel, I get in this fucking Escalade. There's this fucking white guy.
See, this is all, I don't know anything about any of this, right?
There's this white guy in the back, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And, he's like, I'm here for Bun B. I'm like, Bernard, he said. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? So I'm asking, so I get out of the truck, and I called Roberta and Red, and I'm like, yo, who's this white guy, in the back seat with me?
Really?
Yeah, and then...
This is fucking hilarious right now.
and then finally, they told me, I said, yo, that's Bun high school teacher. So I got... so we went there and we started drinking. Anyway, to make a long story short, just to let you know, and I want you to go into this, just to let the people know, Drake literally walked around, okay, and made sure everything was done correctly. They had a big coloring wall with, him and Pimp and you. Just made sure everybody was okay. I haven't seen him in a minute, and we chopped it up. But the point I'm making is,
tears to my eyes,
no, just took his sweet time and dedication to make sure that there was a special event. The mayor came out. Who else was there? This comedian, what's his name?
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress was there, bro.
They told them bring Hannibal. He loves Hannibal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was just amazing.
Bro, they brought the mayor, and I went up to the mayor, and I really thanked her this
is heavy right
now.
No,
I really thanked her for just being. They gave you Bun B Day.
Yeah, it was just a very emotional day. Like, family, friends, everybody that I cared about was literally in one room.
Yeah, that was a special night. But so instead of going off, I want to. How did you even get introduced to Drake? That this guy loves you that much to do that type of thing.
So I'm glad we're going to something fun, right? Because this was kind of heavy for a minute. But no, it was Jazz Prince, Jay Prince's son. I was in the studio. I was recording at the time. So I'm in the studio every day at this point, right? I'm going to Corey Mo on the north side every day, recording. And he's like, yo, I got this artist I'm working with. Wayne likes him. I think Wayne's going to sign him. And we need a verse from you, Unc. We need a verse. I'm like, all right, cool. So they sending me the record. I'm like, this is not a bad record. And so I'm like, I'm going to get to it. But I'm in the zone. I'm on my album. I'm trying to knock my shit out. So like, Unc, we need this verse. We really need this verse, man. I'm like, I got you, nephew. I got you. So I go to the studio, and it's one of those days where I'm pretty productive. Like, I'm usually gonna do about 2-3 songs a session. If I go in, probably book out about 5 hours. I try to get like 3 songs done, something like that. This is one of those days where it was just shit was just pouring. And I'm like, yo, this was like, we killed it today. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done for the weekend. We out of here. So I'm getting ready to leave, and my phone rings, and it's Jazz like, Unc, I need this verse. I'm like, nephew, I just finished. I'm like, I get it to you. Like, Unc, I need it tonight. We getting ready to put this mixtape out, you know.
And that
I'm
was
like,
so far gone.
yeah. And so he's like, I really need this, Unc. And I said, fuck it. And I turned around. I went back in. I laid my verse, and I sent it off to him. The mixtape comes out. I think they pushed it back. It was initially supposed to come out like maybe 2 or 3 days after that. I think it took like 5 days for them to really get everything from everybody that they need, and they put it out. And then he does the show in New York.
SOBs.
No, not yet, not there.
Okay.
First, he does a college.
Okay.
He does a college in New York, and then he does a college in Atlanta. And the videos start going viral because the girls are singing every song. Like all the crowds are like 95% girls, young college girls. They're screaming at this kid. They're singing every word song for song. Like, it's amazing. Within like 48 hours of the album actually coming out. So Houston's the third show. So I see the first show in New York. The next day the video, YouTube goes up. Crazy, response. I'm telling my wife, yo, this kid's the kid I did the song with. Look at these little girls are going crazy. The second day, I'm like, yo, Queen, look at this. This is him in Atlanta. They're going fucking bananas. So he comes to Houston. I convince her to come to the show. She convinces a couple of her friends, ESG's wife, it was Bandit's girlfriend, who's now his wife now, Corey. And they go and they stand in like the pit, right? So because the crowd is crazy. And the stage is kind of crazy. Rap-A-Lot's protecting everything. And she doesn't like when Rap-A-Lot gives like that because it gets kind of, everybody lock in. So they go in the pit, right, between the photographers would go, right? And it's like they're being serenaded by this dude. Like, it's amazing, right? And it's funny because each one of these women, there's 3 women, and then neither one of them are the age group of the audience or each other. So they're all different ages, right? They've all got like a couple of years. Like, my wife is a few years older than her friend, who's a few years older than Corey, who's a few years older than the majority of the people in the crowd. And they're all just enamored and in awe of this young man singing these songs, rapping these songs, like, to them. And I'm looking at my wife, like, and it's like when the cartoon, when the wolf gets the love, like when the animal gets the heart, it's in their eyes, Not sexual, just, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Like, this is amazing. He's such a handsome guy, and these songs are so nice. And it's just amazing to just kind of watch that happen. And I'm seeing it from the first 2 shows, like, it's growing. And then I get to Houston, it's even bigger. And I'm like, this kid's on what we now call a wave,
But you didn't meet him yet.
That was the first time I had seen him, and that you hear it on the song backstage. He says it on one of the songs, like backstage at Warehouse Live, like, is Bun coming?
Yeah,
because we've already recorded the song, but he's never met me. You know what I'm saying? And he's hoping he gets to meet me, and maybe we can actually do the song together. And from that point on, it's been like a friendship that turned into like we are like a brotherhood. He's He's an amazing.
What was the
brother.
first thing he said to you when he met you?
Met me? Thank you. Thank you. So because he's Canadian, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's as most Canadians are, extremely gracious, right? Very polite, very well mannered, And that was pretty much the first thing I would imagine that I can remember him saying to me was thank you so much, like, for this, and and he was very, very much reserved back then, right? Because this was all happening extremely fast, right? And he wasn't really sure who to trust or what, what I'm saying? So for me, it's like somebody that, like, I know I can go to you,
Sure.
Whenever I can't kind of figure some of this shit out, like, I just want to make sure I keep an open line of communication with you so that if something doesn't feel right or smell right, just so I can have somebody to bounce some of this shit off of. And it's been a good thing to be able to be that to him, but I haven't had to be that for a while because he's got it now. You know, we just kind of just talk as friends, and he'll ask about the wife, and birthdays he'll call and reach out, or if he's in town he'll stop by for birthdays, and Queen will, if he has time, Queen will cook something, come by the house.
Queen, what's Queen cook from?
They want the fried chicken.
Okay,
they want the fried chicken and the red beans and rice.
Okay.
They want soul food when they come.
Okay.